I hope I'm audible to both of you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. So explain the functions.
The seminal vesicle, it produces sperm.
Seminal vesicle releases sperm. No,
No, I said produces.
produces. Neither does it produces, neither does it releases.
Oh, wait.
Evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Chikrika, how are you?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Yes, sir, I'm also good. And Chakrika, you will explain the function of the scrotum. Okay, no? Alif and Khadija, they are going to explain the functions of prostate gland and seminal vesicle. Yeah, Khadija, continue.
Production of seminal fluid.
Seminal vesicle, exactly. Right now. So that produces seminal fluid. So what does the seminal fluid do? What is its function? Seminal fluid provides nourishment, no? It's provide I mean to say it provides nutrition to the sperm. It provides nourishment to the sperm. So remember, like we learned seminal vesicle, it provides nourishment to the sperm now. It has got following types of components found inside it: protein, enzyme, mucus. So that is found in it. Okay. Now you, Alif, you explain the function of prostate gland.
Yes, sir. The prostate gland plays a
Hmm.
role in male reproductive and
Hmm.
urinary health. Is it correct, sir?
Mm-hmm. Explain again. Explain again. I didn't heard it properly. Explain again the function of prostate gland.
Sir, it plays a like it plays in male reproductive and urinary health.
Okay. And
Uh, that much I know only.
see, it secretes a fluid called as prostate fluid. It secretes a fluid, and that fluid contains enzymes. It contains zinc. It contains citric acid. And prostate gland, uh, it is secreting a prostate fluid, which makes up about 1/3 content of the semen. Remember? Yes. Others, what do you guys think? That's what we learned now in the previous class about this prostate gland. It secretes a fluid called as prostate fluid that makes up about 1/3 of the semen, right now. And the fluid contains enzymes, zinc, and citric acid. Got this now? This is all about prostate gland. Talking about its function, its primary function to supply prostate fluid, right now. And prostate fluid has got enzymes, zinc, and citric acid, which is essential for the sperm. Got this? Okay. Yeah, Chakrika, now you explain.
The scrotum, right? Scrotum.
Scrotum,
Yes,
scrotum.
sir. Yes, sir. So it is a sac-like structure, and it is present behind the penis. And its main function is to contract and relax to regulate the temperature to produce sperm.
It contracts and relaxes, thereby maintains the temperature, reduces the temperature, and the production of a sperm takes at a temperature lower than the normal body temperature. Right. Okay, guys, we did also learn about the male sex hormone, that is testosterone. You guys tell me, what is the function of testosterone in the male body, or in general, because it is secreted in the female body also, but it is converted into estrogen. So explain the function of testosterone.
To regulate sex drive.
And
Sperm
yeah,
production.
Muscle mass, something.
yeah, it helps in some way, helps in sperm production. And something like, didn't I told you that it helps in building body, building muscle mass? Huh? It is good for the health of the bones, right? Most importantly, it helps in the production of red blood cells, right now. So it signals the brain to produce red blood cells. Apart from that, it helps in it is responsible for the enlargement of the penis also. It has it is one of the causes of body hair as well, increase of muscle mass. When the boys reach the age of puberty, their voice changes, helps in sperm production, bone strengthening, and signals the brain to produce red blood cells. These are the functions right now. Okay, so we learned about testosterone. Now let us learn about the structure of the sperm cell. What is the structure of the sperm cell? Right now, many times this is asked in the exam. Questions related to this is asked. Okay, so when you look at the sperm cell, which is basically the male sex cell, so testis would be secreting millions of sperm cells together at one single time. Millions of sperms are secreted by the testis. Now this sperm is a single cell. This sperm is a single cell. Getting it? It's not a multicellular thing. So this sperm comprises of a single cell and has a very specific structure with three main parts, as you can see here. The first part, that is its head. The second part is its middle part, and then you have the tail. So let us understand about the different parts of a sperm cell and its function. Okay, now let us understand about different parts of a sperm cell and its function. So when you look at the head, of the sperm cell, it will contain the necessary DNA, like the DNA from the male parent. All of it will be stored in its head, because in the head you have the nucleus. Getting it, guys? This is basically in this you will be having nucleus, as you can see over here. And nucleus, what does it contain? It contains the genetic material, chromosomes, DNA, right now. So this, everyone listen carefully to what I'm saying. The head of the sperm cell, it has nucleus, and inside the nucleus, and it contains DNA, right? So it contains the DNA. Now what happens when the sperm cell, it goes on to fuse with the sperm cell? What happens now? I mean to say, fuse with the ovum. So this is ovum. This is the nucleus of the ovum, and this is the nucleus of the sperm cell. Sperm cell. Getting it, guys? So this head will enter into the ovum. The rest of the part of the sperm cell, that is the middle piece and tail, it does not goes inside the ovum. That is left out. So this will only go inside the nucleus. And further, what will happen? The nuclei of the two will fuse together. The nucleus of the sperm will fuse together with the nucleus of ovum. Getting it, guys? So when that will happen, the DNA of the sperm cell and the DNA of the ovum cell, that will combine together to create a new individual. Is that clear to everyone? Alif, Chakrika, Khadija, yes, Gauri, how are you?
Fine, sir.
Good. So for those of you who are not getting it, please let me know at this moment only.
Sir, can you explain it again?
Yeah, sure. Right now we are learning about the structure of the sperm cell. So we see that the body of the sperm cell is divided into three parts: head, middle piece, and tail. Inside the head, you would be having a nucleus. Okay, and inside the nucleus, we have got DNA. Okay, so it will have DNA. Then this is the ovum, that is the female sex cell. So this also has a nucleus, and inside the nucleus, what do we have? We have DNA. Getting it, guys? So when the fusion of the sperm cell and the ovum takes place, at that time, what happens? The tail and the middle piece, this is the middle piece, and this is the tail. This is middle piece, and this is the tail of the sperm. So this is left out. Only the head of the sperm enters inside the ovum. Got this so far?
Yes.
Okay. Next,
Yes,
what
sir.
happens? The nucleus of the sperm cells and the ovum cells, it will fuse together. It will combine together. Or more specifically, it would be better to say that the DNA of the two combines together to form a new individual here. The DNA of the sperm cell will combine together with the DNA of ovum. Got this so far or not?
Yes, sir. Get it.
Good. So write what I'm writing over here. Everyone have to give this heading, the sperm cell. Previously, you guys would have written the functions of testosterone, right? All of you will have written it now. If
Yes, sir.
anyone is left, please let me know. I will share the screenshot after the class. So the sperm cells, have three main parts. Start writing. Mainly, it is head. So talking about head, what we learned that head contains the DNA. It contains the DNA which will combine. By the way, guys, if there's some space left now, right beneath the sperm cell, if there's some space left here, so there you write down this point. I forgot to tell you that each testis secretes millions of sperm cells. Okay, if you have some space left there, then write that line. So it contains the DNA which will combine with the ovum's DNA to create a new individual. So I think that much is clear so far. Okay. Now you look at the mid piece. So the mid piece will contain mitochondrion. Also, it has a spiral shape. So the mid piece here, it basically contains mitochondria that will provide energy for the sperm to move. So what do we know about mitochondria? Anyone? We know that mitochondria is kind of powerhouse of the cells now, right?
Yes, sir.
And it is in mitochondria where respiration takes place, isn't it?
Yes.
In class 7th standard, you would have studied about respiration, right? So we know that respiration inside any cell will take place inside in the mitochondria. So energy is produced in the mitochondria. So the function of the middle piece would be to provide energy to the sperm cell to move forward, right? So then talking about mid piece. Fahad, have you joined from a different ID?
Let me check, sir. Yes, sir. I have joined from a different ID.
Okay. Kindly correct your name, or let me just correct your name. Fahad, right? Fahad.
Yes.
All right. Okay. You also give this. By the way, Fahad, just let me give you a quick recap of what are the things we are doing here. Right now in this batch, we are doing the chapter reproduction in animals. Okay, now.
Okay.
So this chapter is going on. So far in the chapter, we have learned about reproduction, meaning that we have learned about the necessity of reproduction, why it is important, what are the different ways of reproduction seen in the case of animals, how animals do reproduction, how microscopic organisms like bacteria, like protozoans, how they will be doing reproduction. We are going to be discussing that part is left to be discussed. We learned what is reproduction and why it is important. We learned
Okay.
about different modes of reproduction. Right now we are learning about the sexual mode of reproduction. Once this topic will be finished, then we will move on to the asexual mode of reproduction. Then in the sexual mode of reproduction, so far we have learned that sexual reproduction in the case of humans or in most of the animals is that kind of reproduction in which the sex cells of the male and female parent fuses together to form a single cell called a zygote, and this goes on to grow into an embryo. Now the embryo, which will later on grow into a new being, new human, so this is going to be different from their parents. It will have the genetic material taken from both the parents, but it will not be identical to that of its parent. But in the some of the cases, like in this planaria, for example, where it does reproduction by fragmenting, so the new individual will be just similar to that of its parent. But in the case of humans, that is not the case. Furthermore, we learned about asexual reproduction also with the example of this amoeba, where the amoeba will simply split into two, and thereby it will split into two new daughter cells. And those daughter cells are going to be identical to each other, while they would be similar to their parents as well, identical to their parents also. So we had a brief discussion about that. We learned about the differences between the two types of reproduction so far. And we learned about the stages of sexual reproduction. So in one of the class, I would call you half an hour before the class, or a class will be scheduled for you where those topics would be covered for you. All right now.
Okay.
And the
Okay.
previous class, we have also learned about the reproductive parts of the male organ, parts of the male reproductive organ, and what are their functions. So we have learned that. Right now, we are learning about the sperm cell and its structure. So you also give the heading and write down what we have written here. So guys, we were talking about the mid piece or the middle piece. Mid piece or middle piece, same thing basically. So
Sir,
yes,
I didn't write that like testosterone.
okay, I will share the screenshot after the class. Okay.
Okay, sir.
It contains the mitochondria, that provide energy for the sperm to move. Right, this much only. After this, then you have the tail. So tail just basically helps to propel the sperm towards the egg. It basically helps to propel it to in the forward direction, getting it. Basically helps it in movement. Also, tail moves with whip-like movement, back and forth. You know, whip-like movement. Whip-like movement. You guys understand what I'm trying to say? Whip-like movement. Like, you know what is a
Sir,
whip?
like caterpillar.
Not like specifically like caterpillar. That wouldn't be the proper example. You guys understand what is a whip now? When you strike a whip, how the whip moves? So somewhat similar to that, it will be moving, and it will
Basically sways.
basically
Sways.
uh,
Sway.
I didn't get it, Chakrika.
No, it basically sways.
Yeah, basically sways, huh? Like that, right now. So the tail helps to propel the sperm towards the egg. It helps to move it towards the egg, right now. Just like the tail of the fishes helps it to move forward, huh? In similar manner, you can understand it. Okay. So talking about the tail. The tail propels the sperm. Propel here means pushes, kind of, you can understand in that manner. Propel, I'm writing it over here. Propel means push forward. Okay, push forward.
Oh,
The
sir,
tail,
like fan.
not like fan, but basically it would be helping it move towards the egg.
Like in a like in a motor there is a propeller like that.
Not exactly like that. That's a different thing, by the way. The tail propels the sperm towards the egg. Or if you're getting confused, in bracket next to it, just write move. Okay, no?
Okay.
Okay, do let me know
Can
once you
we
guys are
also
done
write in our
writing it
own
down.
words?
Yes?
Can we also write in our own words?
Yeah, in your own words also you can write it down. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Okay, you guys let me know once you guys are done. Okay, now meanwhile, just let me give a quick recap of this to Fahad. Okay, now. So Fahad, by the way, it is recommended that everyone joins the class at the given time. Okay. So Fahad,
Okay.
about the sperm cell, what we have learned that it has three parts. Its body is divided into three parts: head, middle piece, and tail. Also, all of you turn your cameras on in the class. The head contains nucleus, and nucleus contains the DNA. Nucleus contains the DNA. So this
Okay.
will contain the DNA of the male parent. Okay. Also, when the fertilization takes place, when this sperm will fuse with the female sex cell, that is ovum. So thereby this DNA will fuse with the DNA of the ovum. They will combine together and form a new individual. That's all about the head. Then you have the middle piece. So the middle piece of the sperm contains mitochondria, and the mitochondria is the site of respiration in any cells which we know. So energy is produced in the mitochondria, and from mitochondria, the sperm cell will be getting the energy to move forward.
Okay.
Then you have the tail also. So tail is basically helping it to move forward. It is kind of pushing it, propelling it further, propelling it in the forward direction.
Okay, I get it.
Good. Once you guys are done, do let me know.
I'm done.
Done?
Done, sir.
Good. Fahad, I will share the screenshot of this one and the previous ones to you as well. Okay.
Okay.
So right now, let us learn about the female reproductive organ. Okay. So the primary function of the female reproductive system is to provide the eggs, provide the ovum for fertilization. Okay, now. So when we look at the image, when we look at this organ over here, there are following different organs are found over here. Like the female reproductive organs contain ovaries. Okay, then it contains oviduct or the fallopian tube, as you can see over here. Notice where I'm marking the where I'm putting the arrow here. So
Yes,
as
sir.
you can see at the pointer over here, from here to here, that is the fallopian tube. Notice that is the fallopian tube. Okay, now do not pay attention at the different parts of the fallopian tube like isthmus, ampulla, and infundibulum. That is not important. Just know that this is a fallopian tube. This one is also a fallopian tube. So there is one pair of fallopian tube. Also, look at the number of ovaries. How many ovaries are there?
2.
Two.
Two.
Right now. So that is also in one pair. Then where the fallopian tube will be ending, there we have the uterus. Getting it? That is the uterus. Got this? So then we have the uterus, and after this, here you have the vagina. So we have understood slightly about the different parts of it. Now let us understand about the functions of different parts of the female reproductive organ. First of all, we are going to learn about the ovary or ovaries. Okay. So talking about ovaries, so the female reproductive system, it comprises a pair of ovaries, meaning that there are two ovaries in the female reproductive part. Okay. This is the male female sex organ, which is responsible for production of female gamete called as ovum or ova. The primary function of ovaries is to produce ovum. Got this now? So what you guys are going to write here, first of all, give this heading female reproductive organ. Write this in your copies. Okay, done. After that, now leave some space where you will be required to draw this diagram. Leave sufficient amount of space. Okay. Should I change the slide now?
Yes.
Then give this topic, write this topic ovaries. In this, you're going to write that the female reproductive system compromises of a pair of ovaries. Okay, of ovaries.
So,
Furthermore, yes.
is it compromises or comprises?
Oh, sorry. Comprises. Yeah. Thanks for
Yes.
correcting that. So comprises. So it comprises of a pair of ovaries. Good. Then next thing is that this is the male female sex organ. Like there are different other organs, like there is a fallopian tube, uterus, all that are part of the female reproductive organ, but this is the main part of the female reproductive organ. So it is the main reproductive part. Okay. Furthermore, its main function is to produce female gametes called as eggs or ovum. Right now. So further, you are going to write its main function is to produce ova or ovum. See, when you talk in terms of singulars, then it is called as ovum. Okay, na? Ovum is the singular of ova. Ovum is the singular of ova. Okay, na? Ova. Then, apart from producing ovum, it also produces the female hormones like the estrogen and progesterone. Okay. Next thing, it also
Sir,
produces.
sir,
Mhm.
ova means egg, right?
Yeah, it refers to egg basically. Okay, now ova, ovum, ova is the plural, ovum is the singular. So it also produces female hormones, namely estrogen and progesterone. We're going to learn about their functions. Okay, now by the way, hormones, you guys understand now what are hormones? Basically, these are the chemical substances, chemical fluids secreted inside our body by different structures, by different glands. Getting it, guys? Write this much, then do let me know. Meanwhile, also listen to what I'm saying. Okay, no? So when you look at the structure of the ovum or female, this is the structure of an ovum, by the way. Ovum or ova. So it has a nucleus inside it and it has a cytoplasm inside it. Just like other cells, it too has a nucleus and a cytoplasm. Okay, other structures mentioned over here, that is of not much use to you. Okay, that is not important. The nucleus, cytoplasm. If you wish, you can draw a rough diagram of it. Okay, by pencil, use of pencil, draw a rough diagram. Next, we'll be learning about function of estrogen and progesterone. Okay, everyone done?
So do you have to draw that?
You can just draw a rough diagram just like this. Make two circles, bigger circles. Inside this, give a small circle. Mark this one as nucleus and mark this one as cytoplasm. Just like that, okay? Okay, furthermore, just like we have learned about the testosterone, which is the male hormone, which is also produced by the testes, right? So testes will be producing sperm and testosterone both. Just like this ovary will also produce hormones like the estrogen and progesterone, and as well as the ovum also. Okay, so just like we had learned in the case of the male body, that testosterone is responsible for bringing changes at puberty. When a boy reaches the age of puberty, there are several changes in his body: growth of hair under the armpit, growth of muscles, growth in height, change in voice, uh, growth of pubic hair. All that is because of testosterone. Just like in the case of the females as well, like in the next chapter, in the chapter age of adolescence, when you will be studying there, when the female child reaches the age of 13, 14, 15, when they are in the teenage age, right? So thereby there would be different changes in their body, like the reproductive organs would start to develop in this sense that the ovum would be the production of ovum would start, and it would be secreted, right? Furthermore, it would lead to development of secondary sexual characteristics in women, right? Like the development of the breast, development of the body hairs, like that. You guys done up writing this or not?
Yes, sir.
Done, all of you? Okay.
Yes.
No, sir, wait.
Okay, I'm waiting.
Done, sir.
Okay. After having written that down, then give the heading. I'm writing it over here. Okay. Let us learn about the function of estrogen and progesterone. What are these two, by the way, guys? What is estrogen and progesterone? They are basically
Female hormones.
female hormones, and that is produced by
The
yes, that is produced by ovum or ovary. That is produced by the ovaries. Okay, now keep that in mind. So this ovary, it will be producing the sex cells, the gametes cells. That is basically ovum, and it will also be secreting hormones like estrogen and progesterone. Okay, now so it's being produced by the ovary only. These are the write down this. These are the female hormones produced by ovaries. Okay. Furthermore, these hormones are responsible for the development of female reproductive organs and also bringing secondary sexual characteristics. See, there are two types of sexual characteristics in any human. Everyone turn your cameras on in the class. The first type of sexual characteristics is the development of the reproductive organ. That is the primary sexual characteristics. Secondary sexual characteristics does not have got anything to directly have not got anything to do directly with reproduction, like growth of height, growth of muscles, growth of hairs in the body, change in voice, change in moods. All that is not directly related with reproduction. Got this one? So they are called as secondary sexual characteristics. So secondary sexual characteristics, in the case of the female, it would be brought upon by estrogen and progesterone. Got this so far or not?
Explain it again.
Yes.
So can you explain it again?
Yeah, sure. Just right. Let me complete this one. These are responsible for bringing, or you can say that these are responsible for the development of female reproductive organs and the secondary sexual characteristics and the secondary sexual characteristics in women. For example, development of breast, growth of hairs, armpits, and pubic hairs. See, what I was saying moments ago is that when when a child would reach the age of teenage, like the age of 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, like this, at that time what happens, like in the case of the male child, what happens, sperm cells are being produced at that time. The production of sperm cells starts to take place at the age of teenage in the case of a male child. Okay. At the same time, testis is also producing testosterone. The production of the testosterone it boosts right now. It increases. So thereby the testosterone will lead to development of height, growth of muscles, change in voice, growth of hairs in the pubic region and in the armpit. Getting it? So there are two changes taking place when a male child reaches the age of puberty. The first change is that his reproductive organs, like the testis, would start the production of sperms. That is has directly got to do something with reproduction. The further, that is the primary sexual characteristics that has developed in the body of the male child. Why it is called as primary sexual characteristics? Because it has got it is directly going to be responsible for fertilization. Got this now? Is that much clear so far?
Yes.
Then the growth of the height, of the growth of the muscles, growth of hairs, change of voice, all that, those are the characteristics that is not directly going to that is not directly related to fertilization, that is not directly related to reproduction. Getting it? So thereby they are called as secondary sexual characteristics. Is that clear so far? Yes, Chakrika, you got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just like in the male child, similarly in the female child as also, at the age of puberty, what happens? The ovums are mature and the release of ovum takes place at the age of puberty. So the release of ovum and the growth of the reproductive organs and the release of the ovum at the age of puberty, that is the primary sexual characteristics that has developed in them at the age of puberty. Got this so far, everyone?
Yes,
Yes.
Then there would be some changes in their body brought upon by the hormones like estrogen and progesterone, like as I have mentioned here, development of breast, growth of hairs, like that. So those are the changes that is not directly linked with reproduction, that is not directly helping in helping in major ways in reproduction, that is not directly related to reproduction, but it is a change that is brought upon by these female hormones like estrogen and progesterone. So they are called as secondary sexual characteristics that has developed in them. Primary is the production of the ovum by the reproductive organ. Secondary is the changes that develops in their body due to estrogen and progesterone. Hope that is clear to everyone.
yes.
Yes.
If there's anyone who has doubt, please let me know. Also let me know once you guys are done writing it.
Done.
Done? Everyone? Okay. Now, if you were to look here, look at this tube-like structure, or you can look like this is kind of a funnel-shaped structure that is connected to the ovary, for example. There are two funnel-shaped structures that is present to the right of the ovary, as you can see in this image. This one where I'm pointing. So the funnel-shaped structure is present in the far superior right of the two ovaries, as you can see over here. Got this now? Okay. So this is basically present at the edge of the ovaries, as you can see. This funnel-shaped structure, it is present at the edge of the ovaries. Now the ovaries would release one egg every month into this. One egg would be released every month into this. And it will go into this. Everyone getting it so far?
Yes, sir.
So the ovaries would be releasing every month, it would be releasing one egg into this fallopian tube. By the way, fallopian tube is also called as oviduct. You know, ovi here is referring to ovum and duct here refers to a tube-like structure. So since this fallopian tube, or by the way, the mouth of the fallopian tube is funnel shape. Funnel shape, you guys understand, like this. Yeah, funnel shape, you guys understand. So this is the mouth of the fallopian tube is just like the shape of a funnel. but further it has a shape just like a tube, okay now. So ovaries would be producing one sperm every month. It would be released from either one of the ovary, either from this one or either from this one. Okay. So it would be released into the fallopian tube or the oviduct, and it will further go here. It will go here, and it will be going up to here. Let me just draw that. Okay. So oviduct or fallopian tube, what we learned about it is that these are kind of funnel shaped structure that is present at edge of both the ovaries, as you can see over here and here, right? Now ovaries are released by the ovaries release one ovum every month into this fallopian tube or the oviduct. Furthermore, this oviduct or the fallopian tube, it consists of cilia that carry ovum from the oviduct to the uterus. Now, what do I mean to say here? You guys know about the structure cilia? Have you guys heard of this cilia before?
No,
Nah.
sir.
Try to recall. You must have learned about this previously. Like in the intestines, huh? Is there?
So
There
it
you would
is
have
like
learned about it, no?
finger-like projection.
Finger-like projections that we have seen. Getting it, guys? So the cilia would be helping the ovary. It will carry the ovary up to the uterus. This whole structure is called as uterus, by the way. You guys know this, right? This is uterus. Let me just highlight it using this color. What is this part of the female reproductive organ called as, which I'm highlighting here? Yes, anyone?
Sorry, uterus.
Uterus.
That is uterus. Okay, now. So they would be villi present over. Let me just draw this. Let me just first of all zoom it out. If you didn't pay close attention to what I'm drawing here, there would be finger-like projections here as well, just like this. You can see where I'm drawing. Okay, there would be finger-like projection just like this. That would help carry the ovum up to the uterus. It would be kind of like this. Okay, is that clear to everyone so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that is the thing about it. So cilias would be present. Yeah, cilias would be kind of finger-like, or you can say like these are. By the way, in the ovum, it would be very thin. It would be kind of hair-like projections. Like in the intestines, it would be cilia found in the small intestine. It is slightly thicker, but here it would be very thin. It would be kind of hair-like projections. Right now, so these cells, the hair-like projections called as cilia here, it would help in movement of help to carry this ovum from here up to here. Furthermore, you can see over here, it will continue up to here. By the way, let me just complete this. It would be present up to here. Give the heading oviduct or fallopian tube and write down what I'm writing here. Okay. By the way, all of you have understood about the function of fallopian tube. You understood the function of the. Okay. So write down the main function of oviduct or fallopian tube is to collect the ovum and provide a passage to the ovum up to provide a passage to the ovum to reach the uterus. The main function of oviduct is to collect the ovum and provide a passage to reach the uterus. Furthermore, cilia, which is hair-like projections, the cilia present in it helps to carry the ovum. So that is the main function of the fallopian tube, that it collects the ovum from the ovaries and provides it passage to reach to the uterus. Okay, now do let me know once you guys are done writing it. Okay. Furthermore, you can see over here that fallopian tube would be found in both on both the sides of the uterus, on the left and right both. Okay, na? On left and both. Everyone done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, we are going to learn about the uterus. Let us learn about the uterus. So give this topic, write this topic, uterus. So remember this structure over here, this uterus, this is what right now we are learning about. So uterus, what happens when the sperm cells, if it manages to reach up to the uterus, there what will happen? Also at the same time, when the ovum would have reached in the uterus, at that time, if the fertilization takes place, if the fertilization of the sperm takes place with that of the ova, that of ova or ovum, so then thereby what will happen? It would have fertilized, and would have looked like this, and then later on, this fertilized ovum, which we also call as zygote, this gets implanted into the wall of the uterus. This thick muscular structure that you see here, notice where I'm pointing. So whenever whenever a sperm will pass into the uterus, and if it fertilizes the ovum, so after fertilization takes place, we know that zygote is formed. Then this zygote will be implanted into the wall of the uterus. Getting it, guys? So this uterus is, yes.
So can you explain where does the fertilization happen again?
See, why the vagina, as the sperm reaches into the uterus, right? Here it reaches, and from at the same time, why from the fallopian tube, ovum is also coming right now. So somewhere here, fertilization would take place. Fertilization would take place here in the uterus only. Okay, now. So when the fertilization takes place, so thereby the zygote will form, and thereby this zygote will be implanted into the wall of the uterus, like this, for example. It would be somewhere implanted here, like this. Say this is a fertilized egg that we call as zygote. So the main function of the uterus is that it is the site where the fertilization would be taking place, and thereby when the fertilization would have take place, this uterus will help in the development of the zygote, and zygote will further grow into a human baby into this uterus only. So I hope you guys have understood the functions of uterus in females. Is that clear to everyone or not?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I will just revise once more if anyone missed it, right? So the uterus, it's a muscular organ in the females, it has got several functions. One of the primary function is that the uterus is that place where the fertilized egg would implant into the walls of the into these muscular walls, right? And where the baby would be growing. What basically happens, the this ovum which is passing through the fallopian tube, as it passes through the fallopian tube, and when the fertilization would have taken place, when this sperm would have fertilized this egg, so thereby the zygote formation would have taken place. Then this zygote will be implanted into the wall of the uterus. Okay. By the way, the wall of the uterus, it is also called as endometrium. The wall that you see over here, that we also call as endometrium. This whole marked area, all of it is endometrium. So once it is implanted into the endometrium, or basically the wall of the uterus, so it is from this wall that it will be receiving all the nutrition. It receives nourishment from the female, from the mother, from this wall only. What happens, like, as you know, that when this zygote will later on grow into baby, we know that an umbilical cord is attached to the mother, right? Now, when a baby is born, first of all, you find that umbilical cord is connected to the womb of the mother, isn't it? So this umbilical cord is basically why the umbilical cord child receives all the nourishment from the parents, no? from the mother. Getting it, guys? Furthermore, as the child will be growing inside the uterus, the size of the uterus will grow. It will expand in order to accommodate it. It will expand. Is that much clear so far to everyone or not? So what
Yes,
we
sir.
have,
Yes,
learned
sir.
here, that uterus is that place where basically the growth of the baby takes place. How does that happen? As the ovum is fertilized by this incoming sperm, so then the zygote is formed. Then zygote will be implanted into the wall of the uterus, which we are also calling as endometrium. Slowly, after some time, what will happen? Blood vessels will develop. Like this baby will be connected to the womb, to the mother, via the blood vessels now, and slowly umbilical cord will also develop. Getting it? Like this baby, via umbilical cord, it will be connected to the mother. Getting it? Say this is a umbilical cord. So via the umbilical cord, it connects with the mother, and via this umbilical cord, it would be receiving all its nutrition. So let me just kind of zoom it out. So say, for example, this is a human baby. Yeah. Try to understand. Just not able to draw the exact diagram, but try to understand. So umbilical cord would connect with the wall of the uterus. Getting it, guys? Umbilical cord would connect with the wall of the uterus, and it is from this umbilical cord that it will receive all the nourishment from the mother. So that's all about uterus. Write down its function. Do we have enough time left? Only just 1
No,
minute
sir.
is left.
Only 1 minute.
Okay, you have understood that function now, by the way.
Yes.
Furthermore, here we look here. If we were to look further, the uterus will open into the cervix. Uterus will open into the cervix, and further it will open into the vagina. Got this now? Further, talking about the vagina, it's like a muscular tube-like structure that is connected with the cervix, right? And it acts as the receptor for the penis and allows the movement of the sperms. It allows the movement of the sperm up to the fallopian